Hello everyone, this is Ashley Tucker. Thank you for joining me today. For today's card, I'm going to be using the July 2018 Simon Says Stamp Card Kit. I decided to use the watermelon image from the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it all over this piece of cardstock using some Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. Today's video is pretty exciting for me because this is actually the very first card that I created using Copic markers. Over the past month or two, I've been very slowly building up my collection of Copic markers. So far, I have about 20 markers, and when I saw this watermelon image, I knew I had some colors that would work for it, so I decided to finally do a card using some Copic markers. I am absolutely in no way an expert on these markers. I've literally only used them one other time before doing this card, so basically, I'm just going to give you what I've learned from watching a lot of other people. I seemed to do okay with this one, but I didn't actually do a whole lot of coloring on this card. I mostly did just this one watermelon. So to color in the pink part of the watermelon, I started with my lightest color and I colored in the whole thing. And then I used my medium color and I did some of the shaded area, and then I went to my darkest color. And then I went backwards. So I went to my medium and then my light again. And I did put the caps up in the corner there so that you can see what colors I used. For the green on the rind of the watermelon, I did pretty much the same thing. I started with my light and then I went to the medium and then the dark and then back to my medium and back to my light color. Next, I took a Copic multi-liner and I just darkened up the seeds because they got really faded with the coloring, and I just wanted to make those stand out a little bit more. And then there's those white seeds on the image. I didn't want to take the time to color around those. It would have made it a lot harder. So I took my colorless blender and I just kind of pushed the color out of those areas and lightened them up a little bit. This next part I sped up quite a bit because it did take a little bit of time, but I wanted to put like a little bit of a drop shadow on each one of these watermelons. So I used a couple different gray markers and just drew a little bit of a shadow towards the bottom right of each of the images. I really enjoyed using these Copic markers. They're really fun to color with, and after doing this one, I'm really looking forward to getting into some more coloring and maybe doing a card that has just a little bit more coloring on it, because this one doesn't have a whole lot of color on it. I wanted that one little watermelon in the corner to be like the standout watermelon, and that's why I only colored that one in. So this one didn't have a whole lot of coloring on it, but it's kind of a good thing because it's my first time using these markers, so I don't want to like jump in and go real crazy at first before I've kind of learned a little bit more about it. But I am looking forward to doing an image with a little bit more coloring on it in the future. I have been watching other YouTubers for many, many years now, and they all use the Copic markers, and I've learned a lot from them, but this is my first time actually applying all of that. And it seemed to go well, and I have like book learning, like when you really know something, like, but you don't have experience with it. So I've got that book learning, and so now I'm actually applying it. Anyways, I took the sentiment from the stamp set, which says "You're one in a melon," and I stamped it onto some white cardstock using my Misty tool. And then I cut it out using my Big Shot with a circle die. For the card base on this card, I decided to use one of the pre-made and scored card bases that came in the card kit. And then I wanted it to be black, so I cut out a piece of cardstock and just adhered that right on with my ATG gun. Then I took the watermelon panel that I created and I'm just going to glue that right on. I'm not doing any kind of foam tape for this background. I just glued it directly on with my ATG gun. You'll notice that I have a green circle cut. I used some of the green leaf cardstock from the kit and I cut that circle out. And then I took my sentiment circle and I just adhered that with some Tombow glue right on top of the green circle. I used some foam tape to pop this up on the left side of the card so that you could still see that watermelon that I colored in on the right side. Okay, so now it's time to start adding all of my finishing touches. The first thing that I did was I took my Wink of Stella glitter brush pen and I went over the little watermelon. Next, I picked out a bunch of different sequins. I used clear ones, green ones, and pink ones. And then I also used some pink half pearls. And I glued those down kind of scattered across from the left bottom corner up to the top right corner. I glued those down using my Tombow glue. I took my Wink of Stella brush back out and I added that glitter to the green border around my sentiment. Next, of course, I had to do one of my favorite things and add dashed lines all around the border. So I just used my white gel pen and went around. And this is sped up very, very fast because I definitely don't draw the dashed lines that quickly. I also used my Wink of Stella on all of the words in the sentiment because, of course, this card didn't have enough glitter, so I had to add more. And finally, the last thing that I did was I added a little bit of a highlight to the watermelon, just using the same gel pen that I used on the dashed lines. Thank you for watching today. I hope you really enjoyed this card using the Simon Says Stamp card kit for July 2018. All of the supplies that I used for this card can be found in the description down below. If you enjoyed watching, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can see all of my future videos. I'm going to be back with another card, probably another card from the Simon card kit, on Wednesday. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day today.